You ever had one of those weekends planned out perfectly peaceful quiet, just you, the trees, and maybe a grill sizzling in the background? Well, imagine this. I'm spending the weekend at my private cabin deep in the forest, trying to get away from all the noise. But instead of peace, I got an unexpected visit from Karen, the self-appointed queen of the HOA, and just when she thought she could barge in uninvited like she owned the place, she found out I wasn't alone. Oh no. I was hosting a guest, someone very important, the state attorney general, and Karen, she didn't just knock, she stormed in, and it was the biggest mistake of her life. Let me tell you how it all went down. I'd been working non-stop corporate meetings, endless calls, clients whining about deadlines, and I needed a break, so I retreated to my log cabin, a little slice of heaven I inherited from my grandfather, off-grid, private, and fully owned, no mortgage, no obligations. Now here's the thing, technically, the land bordered an HOA-controlled community, but I had nothing to do with them. My cabin was built before the HOA was even formed. My property was grandfathered in and legally exempt. But the HOA, they didn't like that. Especially Karen, you know the type. Sharp haircut, clipboard, power tripping harder than a mall cop on Black Friday from day one. She was convinced my cabin was under her rule. The first time I met her, she marched up my gravel road like she owned it. Excuse me, this path is HOA property, she snapped. No, it's actually mine, I replied, showing her the deed. That didn't stop her. Week after week, I'd catch her snooping, snapping pictures of my woodpile, peeking through the fence, writing citations I never acknowledged. I'd filed complaints, sent emails, even had a lawyer friend send a cease and desist. But Karen didn't care. See, she wasn't just part of the HOA board. She was the HOA board president, treasurer, enforcer, and apparently spy. That weekend, I had a guest coming up, a longtime friend from college, now one of the most powerful people in the state. She'd just been appointed state attorney general. We'd planned a quiet weekend, no press, no politics, just catching up and escaping the madness. She arrived Friday afternoon in jeans and sunglasses, sipping from a travel mug like she wasn't the most powerful legal figure in 5 counties. Nice place, she said, walking up the porch steps. I can't wait to unplug. We grilled steaks, chopped firewood, swapped stories. The air was crisp, and the mood was perfect. Until Saturday morning, that's when everything unraveled. We were having breakfast on the back deck, just eggs and bacon. Nothing fancy, when we heard footsteps on the gravel, not animals, not delivery. Heavy, determined steps. Karen. She was storming up the path, fists clenched, face red like a tomato in July. Before I could stop her, she walked in, didn't knock, didn't say hello, just pushed open the front door and yelled, "This structure is in violation of Community Code 18.4, no guests longer than 48 hours. I stood up. "Karen, you are trespassing." She waved me off. "This is HOA jurisdiction. I don't need permission." That's when my guest stepped forward, calm/confident, and very official. Karen blinked. "And you are?" The guest extended a hand. "State Attorney General Diana Moore, and you, ma'am, are about 2 seconds from a criminal trespassing charge." It was like watching a balloon deflate. Karen's posture changed instantly. Her voice cracked. "Wait, state, Attorney General." "Yes," Diana replied, pulling out her badge like it was a holy relic. "And this property is legally exempt from HOA enforcement." "I've read the deed myself," Karen stammered. But the bylaws don't apply here," Diana said. "And unless you'd like to spend the night in the local jail, I suggest you leave." Now, for the first time since I met her, Karen was speechless. She backed away slowly, turned, and practically ran back down the path. We heard her heels crunching the gravel for a solid 30 seconds. We thought that was the end, but Karen wasn't done. Afternoon, a sheriff's deputy showed up, said there was a noise complaint. Diana smiled. "Good. Let me speak with your supervisor." 15 minutes later, Karen was being questioned. Apparently, she'd made multiple false reports about me in the past. All of it was documented. Diana handed the deputy a copy of the cease and desist letter my lawyer had sent months ago. The deputy nodded and said, "Ma'am, this might qualify as harassment." Karen tried to talk her way out, claimed she was just doing her job. But this time, the law was on my side. Diana didn't waste any time. Back in the city, she filed a formal complaint with the state against the HOA. Investigations were launched. Turns out, Karen had been overstepping for years, harassing residents, forging citations, even pocketing fees from new buyers. People were scared to speak out. Until now, the entire HOA board was suspended pending investigation. Karen, removed from her post, banned from ever holding HOA authority again, fined thousands, and the cherry on top, she had to write me a letter of apology, framed it, hung it in the cabin. Now when I walk that gravel path, I don't worry about Karen. The cabin's quiet. The birds sing, the grill, sizzles. And every time I look at that apology letter, I remember, sometimes justice wears hiking boots, and sometimes HOA Karens meet their match in the unlikeliest places. So next time someone tries to push you around with fake rules, Remember this: know your rights, know your boundaries, and never back down when you're in the right, because even Karen can't argue with the Attorney General. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more crazy real-life tales, and drop a comment below. Have you ever had to deal with a Karen? Let's talk about it. And remember, don't knock if you're not invited, especially when justice is sitting on the porch. Fade out with dramatic music.